February 19th, 8:44 a.m. All right, Jurgen, this perfect example how stupid all of you are. You just go inventing shit which you think I believe. You don't understand, there's a reason why I believe what I do. There's a reason the way everything works here, enlightenment. It's not shit you read in a book. Perfect example. Patsy here is such a goddamn imbecile. Horvat is, you know, this is the point. This is a deliberate lie which is being done. So they're like, well, you think there's a cover-up going on, which there is, by the way. It's amazing. I've given you everything for your agency to quite literally start finding out the truth, and nobody from your agency has done it. Because you want to believe that your homies don't lie. So you've thrown out common sense like, I don't know, could you be in the middle of a cover-up and not know it? Hello? I don't know, what about Monica being a witness to my real psychology? She knew I wasn't a threat to agencies. That's a surprise for her and me. So then they go, that's why we are stopping your book. We're afraid and we're worried about your book coming out, and there's going to be consequences for us if anybody starts looking into shit. And they just communicate, that's reality. And I'm like, hello? Actually, the whole thing's a goddamn lie. I could care less about their fucking problems here. That is reality. It's about my goddamn experience and where I'm at in my fucking psychology, not yours and your cheap understanding of how shit is. But the point is, they're doing this deliberately for lying to you. Like they don't know it's all going on here. So your balls to the wall's amazing. You have somebody in the middle of this telling you that you're being made a fool of. And it's all of you. But they're like, that's also reality. That has nothing, like my parents here. What they believe, that's reality for them. It's got nothing to do with where I'm at. I could care less. That's their fucking problem. Same thing here with these assholes. But the point is, this is the way it's been the entire time. You just go inventing a psychology I don't have. You go pretending like you understand how I view the world around me. And the reality is you fucked up all the way in 2002, never found out the truth, and have just invented all sorts of lies like this for a psychology I don't even have. Next point is, when you get how far removed it is from my psychology, and you get where I'm actually at, then you get that that's a deliberate lie. It's not sloppy. It's like this game of Horvat and Patsy here, pretending to be each other and trying to mix it up. It doesn't change reality. At the end of the day, this is a perfect example. So this is how your agency's been the entire time. This goes back to 2002 also. You go, well, you screwed up. The Bakia went along with everything Horvat was doing. Monica and I were supposed to think you're absolutely fucking stupid and would assume things without double checking. So the point is, you go, well, you screwed up in the file. That must mean you're wrong about Horvat holding you in 2002. That is not how you measure truth and reality. Actually, Horvat held me in 2002 and has been doing... As I was saying, the camera cut off. Horvat had held me in 2002 and has been doing all of this without even having a reason for being able to do it. That is the entire point. She's doing all of this and her officers in front of your face and your agency's face, and it's all on a lie in the first place. You threw out common sense. How did you think it would be if I'm telling the truth? My girlfriend's a witness. Hello? How does she get labeled? As delusional. Imagine that one. Point is, you cannot determine how things were in 2002 by saying, well, you screwed up in the file. You didn't even look at how that happened. It hasn't changed the truth. That's the point. So then this is a perfect example. I'm pointing out how fucking stupid you all are. Do you understand other people are going to be knowing about this, the performance of your fucking agency? I want you to understand how stupid you all are. Because these agents are doing this deliberately with you fucks. So take a look at how stupid you all are. So then Patsy and Horvat go mixing shit up. Like they're pretending to be each other and this and that. And then they're like, well, you're wrong, it's me. And behind the scenes, they're like, well, he's got it wrong. This isn't Horvat, it's me. And this isn't Patsy, it's me, Horvat. He's got it wrong. So that's what you focus on. This is the fakes you are. So then you don't even look at what you get. And the point is, you're incorrect. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. The fact that you got an incorrect answer is what is important here. But what do you stupid fuckers do? You go, well, he made a mistake. Therefore, what he's given isn't real or true. Hello? And this is in regards to my goddamn psychology. You've done this all over the place and for years on end. So what we have here are superior beings, quite literally like my own parents here, pretending to know and then inventing a system for measuring truth, which doesn't actually measure truth. Hello? You're a bunch of goddamn fakes. This is why I say you're all delusional. You go looking down on me, and you've invented a way for looking down on me and proving to yourselves you're correct. In a way, actually, that doesn't prove truth at all. But for you, it proves you're correct. Whether it's Patsy or Horvat, if you got an incorrect answer, it's a fucking incorrect answer. You're a bunch of goddamn egotistical fuck-ups. And you've done this with everything. It's a self-invented pretend system so that you can always be correct. Like, agents don't lie. Hello? And this is your profession. Wait till you see my next book here. I say tons of, it's going to be obvious to the world, the performance of your agency here. Oh, and don't get me wrong. I have no interest in exposing this and being a witness for your agency. As a matter of fact, these agents even looked yesterday. And they did scenario pushing, and I was like, you could put a gun to my head and pull the trigger. You're not getting a goddamn thing from me. You all are a bunch of fuck-ups, and your agency is going to find out the truth when Horvat and her officers have to run. That's going to be in a few years' time. This is not my goddamn mess. This is your mess and the mess of American agencies. That's goddamn reality. And it's going to catch up with everybody here. Horvat labeled me delusional, and while he seems like he's speaking the truth and real and true, that's because I actually am. If you had followed all the tips I had given and listened to what my psychology actually is, instead of just inventing more fake psychology on top of the fake psychology you already have, which is the point. You listen to the psychology I've given you and do it from there, you realize everything fits. And then you're not hitting these weird obstacles, and you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he be like that? Or why would he do that? So then you invent one more false psychology. You just get further and further away from my profile. It becomes more and more of a cartoon. You're like, oh, well, he's good at surviving here. He played the game with Horvat. And, he's had a life of surviving dangerous circumstances. But then you assume I'm an idiot who's going to get himself killed in interviews or in just being free. That's where it was in 2002. Oh, he's a threat to agencies. It's all self-invented. But now you've created the circumstances. I am here, and I am going to be doing interviews. And I'm not doing anybody any goddamn favors from agencies. I'm going to push it all the way up to a certain point without getting myself killed. But I'm not doing anybody any fucking favors. Y'all are going to take your goddamn medicine in interviews. You've fucked up like crazy. You've been arrogant pigs. And because you've been arrogant pigs who've not done your jobs, which is going to be obvious for everybody. The next thing a lot of people will be asking, well, is it possible that his circumstances are real and true? But the point is, a lot of people are going to be looking at this more objectively than German homies. Little tip for you. You got problems with the CIA in your country? Clearly you do. Your country kicked out the head of the CIA for Germany years ago. So clearly you do have problems with the CIA in your country. Little tip, little news flash. Maybe you shouldn't act like they're your homies. When you get your own job performance here and what's really going on here and how it happened, then you've probably got fuckloads of CIA agents doing all sorts of shit in your country. You and your agency focus on the ones we've caught. Yeah, but we caught them. Hello? That's not the point. You missed the point the entire way here. Point is, you got shitloads running around doing all sorts of shit in your country because this is how you perform in the first fucking place. That's the one you don't fucking get. Getting back to the point, I've survived all sorts of goddamn shit here. And you assumed I'm an idiot who's going to get himself killed when he's out of stalking? This is just invented out of thin air. Do you realize when I say to you they fucked up in regards to profiling me, and that's before I was put in gang stalking? That's exactly what I mean. You're a bunch of goddamn fuck-ups. So I'm going to be pointing out how agencies don't perform responsibly, how you can't do profiling, how you can't do a goddamn thing. You can't even take responsibility for your mistakes like grown adults. That is the entire point. Your fucking agency, all of you are balls to the walls, delusional little kids with too much power, pretending they know what they're doing, instead of actually doing it, and then finding out, and then knowing from there. That's the point. You just go inventing whatever it is you want to believe, and then go believing it without double checking it. This is exactly like my parents. Then when I bring up shit like this, which I could have given years and years and years ago, oh, why didn't it come up before? You're the ones who went along with my being affected heavily. Have you seen my emails to the BAFL? So shut the fuck up. They invented reasons for affecting me heavily so that when they do it, they can get away with lying about it. Oh, well, it's technology. That's how you write off everything. They invented a reason for my being affected heavily so they could do it and get away with it. It's been about the goddamn cover-up in the first place. You go, oh, well, it must be he's delusional. He thought he had a cassette, which proved Horvat's guilty when he was with LJ. I fucking did. You're the ones who can't handle reality. Furthermore, take a look at how it happened. How delusional is anybody? That's the entire point. You go, well, he must be delusional or else we fucked up. Boy, no arrogance on that one. What is basic reality? Think I don't know I had a cassette that proved the truth? That's the point. It's simple, basic reality, and you can't even assess the circumstances correctly with somebody telling you how it's been here. So going all the way back to 2002, you believe I was a threat when I didn't begin to be. My whole thing's been about a piece of land and a house and being off-grid and being ready for the times that are here now. How do you think that works? It's booking interviews. All my books are coming out and I'm getting out of the country. And I'm not doing anybody any favors here. I'm not going to get myself killed in interviews. I mean, the shit I could bring up. Hello? So I'm not going to be bringing up all sorts of murders and stuff. You know, I'll be bringing up some shit, of course I will. But, you know, nothing that's going to cause problems. But, hey, man, I'm just going to tell it like it is with agents and agencies here. You fuckers are going to be about this fucking big when I'm done with all of you. I want everybody understanding how balls to the walls incompetent you all are. One more game and illusion which Germans fall for. They go, well, he has to understand our psychology. Like they're trying to force me into understanding where they're coming from. That one's a laughable joke. I get Patsy better than their own fucking parents here. That's a statement of fact. So the point is, I've got to try and understand why why they're keeping me from getting my book done. They already get my psychology. They get where I'm coming from. They get where I'm going here with interviews and the future. And I've got to understand where they're coming from. That's a load of shit. You are stopping me from getting my book done, and that is that. When you already get everything else, I don't need to understand one goddamn thing. I can look at cause and effect here. It doesn't change where I'm coming from, no nothing. But they try and make it about themselves, and then they sell this shit to you. You're balls to the walls, incompetent. I understand all of you in the first place based on 20 years of fucking up here. 22, actually. And in regards to Horvat, I understand her very well based on her being deliberate in the first place. That's the entire point. And you know, the agents out in Phoenix, they were wondering about how Horvat and her officers turned rogue, and I was like, well, it could have been as simple as them going out for beer. And then laughing and joking about, well, we could wiretap this person like some famous movie star, and we can get rich by doing this or that. I mean, think about it. It's real easy to get rich with this technology. Nobody would even know. That's the entire point. They're already in up to their ears with murder and torture and everything that's illegal under the sun. You people are amazingly stupid, Jurgen. You insist on believing in this imaginary world of agents and agencies and how it's supposed to be. Just like my parents here. This beautiful little world they live in of FBI agents don't lie. There is absolutely no fucking difference. Horvat and her officers and Patsy here, really Horvat, threatening, well, you'll be detained, you know, could have been Patsy's tip. This is the point. It's beside the point. I'll be going to Germany to see my girls and be there for 4 months, and they're giving me shit like, well, they will stop you and be dicks with you and, you know, give you a bunch of shit. I'm like, be as personal as you want from the bake. Yeah, that is you once again being arrogant and, quote, being angry and reacting and doing stalking. And stalking doesn't exist anymore. So already you're off in your own Disneyland. And that's where you'll be coming from, because that's how much you insist on your imaginary world being real and true. So you're a bunch of arrogant pigs all the way around. I can easily predict, by the way, this would be the reaction of this fuck-up from my girl's hometown. At the end of the day, you're all narcissistic beyond belief and delusional. You believe in these false constructs which don't even exist. You measure truth for yourselves in an imaginary way which doesn't actually measure truth. But you prove to yourselves you're correct. And the reality is you can't arrive at truth based on how you do it in the first place. It's fake. That is not how you arrive at truth in regards to all sorts of shit you've done here. But you believe in it. You smoke your own bullshit, just like my parents here. So you're not honest about your job performance. You're not honest about how you determine truth. You're not honest about a damn thing in regards to any of this. You've arrived at truth. Put quotes around that. Quotes for yourself. You've arrived at truth here. By ways in which you can't even measure truth. And strangely enough, what you believe isn't even true or accurate. Imagine that one. Based on you being extremely prejudiced and biased the entire time and way here, in this little self-invented world in way and of measuring truth, actually proves you're correct because that's how you want it to be. Next point is you believe these extreme lies about my profile because you use yourself for comparison in no small way here. You think I'm normal. Actually, I've been growing and changing the entire fucking time and way here. And I changed in 2002, just like I said, but that's beside the point. I was never a threat to agents and agencies in the first place. That is all built on a lie about my profile to begin with. Next point is, just like my parents here, you get to believe these lies by not finding out in the first place. You choose that. Just like my parents here. They could find out the truth. They have no interest. They already know. There is no difference. But if I speak to somebody out here in front of my father and I say, well, this is what my father believes, and take a look. Everything he believes is a lie. all of a sudden my father will start waking up and questioning things, and he'll be like, oh, well, maybe I didn't think about it correctly. But unless I have somebody from outside of his Disneyland come in and take a look at the lies he believes, unless I do that, he just goes on believing these lies about me because it feels good to look down on me. It's the exact same thing you lazy-minded, incompetent turds, pieces of shit from agencies do. There is no difference. So the point is, there's a point. He accused me of not doing something with my phone bill, like I don't understand it. He says, I don't understand it because he doesn't. This is how your agencies have been the entire time and way here. So then he'll invent something in his head about me which is inaccurate. It's because he doesn't understand me in the first place. That's on him. It's the same thing here with your fucking agency. There is no difference. That is the entire point. Absolutely zero. And you're not listening, are you? When I say there is no difference, that's absolutely what I mean. If you weren't stupid and your agency here, you'd wake up to the truth of what I'm communicating here. So the point is, he's falsely accusing me about something with the phone bill. Imagine that one. I started recording it. I'm all done with him constantly falsely accusing me. This is how he's always been. So now I've got all sorts of pieces in regards to him for other people. They can get a look at the real him here. So the point is, then I was like, fuck this. I'm not listening to this shit. I'm calling Dana right now. I get Dana on the phone. I say, this is what he's accusing me of, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, is that how it is? All of a sudden, he's different now because somebody else is looking and listening. And he realizes that it's clear that he is full of shit. And he just wants to believe what he wants to believe. And being correct doesn't even enter the picture. He just wants to take a piss on me. So that's what's going to happen here with your agency in this book and interviews. The lie you all live is finished. Are we clear? So now I will ask you, how do you know that none of this is real and true? Perhaps we should get you an interview as well. We could all do an interview together, and you could explain how your agency knows. You gone assuming I'm balls to the walls, delusional out of my mind. You have believed the impossible in regards to my psychology, rather than wake up to the fact that you fucked up royally here. I had a fucking cassette. I was there with you, man. I had a cassette that proved they're guilty of goddamn unauthorized murder. And what did you choose to do? You let the CIA take the fucking tape so you can find out the truth. Then you go believing extreme lies about my psychology in the first place. How do you think it works when I was with Horvat? I can tell you all sorts of stories about my starting to wake up. They were worried because Simone, a BKI agent, was living right next door. How do you think that works? My journal entries was going to be one of the things I was going to approach the BFL with. Strangely enough, totally gone from my head. Hello? I was going to start off with certain German citizens, then get to Bettina's mother, and then get to February of 2011. That disappeared from my head. I do the math on that one. And then you go, well, it must be you're delusional. No, I'm not delusional. I actually have memories of this. That is the entire point. Then you go, well, you must be really delusional. You've invented memories. That's the shit the agents out in Phoenix tried accusing me of before they woke up. Hello? Nobody in the world is this delusional. You rather believe that than be honest about what the real circumstances are here. Furthermore, you're not even honest about your job. You're not honest about anything, so you just never find out, just like my parents. Furthermore, you're constantly focused on stalking where this means that, and you're never correct about any of it in the first place. The whole thing is one big imaginary world. It's real simple. Horvat lied, and they're doing this, hang on. It's real simple. Horvat and her officers lied, and I could have been freed back in 2002. The whole thing is about Horvat leading a team of corrupt agents. And it doesn't matter how they all became corrupt. That's the other one everybody's acted like I'm supposed to know. That's a load of shit. That's your fucking jobs. But it's real easy to just, off the top of anybody's head, figure out how it could have happened. And clearly that involved people sitting around and just thinking about the possibilities. That has to be how it started. But that was one of the first things I realized about Horvat and her officers. I was like, well, they just did this, and who the fuck holds somebody in gang stalking? What kind of fucked up asshole does that? I was like, well, they clearly, they were corrupt way before they entered my life. Now, the other one I get that you don't is Horvat did it for her own personal reasons. You'll see it in the book, but this is the truth of it. It's just like any serial killer picking their next victim. There's something about them that activates the instincts in the serial killer. Then they become obsessed with the target and grooming and this and that. And there is no difference. So that's the one I get that you do not. That is the entire point. Everything I pointed out in the file I sent off in 2014. Horvat was doing all of this, but she had no reason for doing it. That's always been the entire point. I and Monica were supposed to think you're balls to the walls incompetent. What does everybody think about agents and agencies? That's one of the messages of the book. You people are full of shit. You said a good agent follows orders. That's a goddamn lie. A good agent is somebody that questions shit. What did I say to you all the way back then? I said that's the military. Wait till you find out the truth. You find out this is real and true, you're going to find out the hard way, then what's your opinion going to be? A good agent follows orders or a good agent questions things? I have arrived at my conclusion based on all of the fucking up in the first place. You have made your mistakes based on what you believe a good agent follows orders in the first place. It's how you've all fucked up. You've acted like they're your homies. This is why you have so many problems with the CIA in the first place. All of you. You're not actually good at what you do and how you do it. You're arriving at truth in a way which does not determine truth. You've performed this way the entire time and way. That's all about proving to yourselves you're good and superior and you're up here. You put yourselves up here. That's how you get there. And that's how you prove to yourselves that I'm incorrect. It's always about how I'm incorrect. You're focused on that. What's the truth of the circumstances? When you're looking at something and measuring things in a way which does not measure truth, strangely enough, you become incorrect. When I say incorrect, that means you are inaccurate. You are believing something that's not real or true. You fucking got it? So it's one great big narcissistic spiel here in your heads where I'm always incorrect and you're always correct and you always know, and the reality is you're just fucking up like crazy. You believe that this proves you're correct and you are accurate because you want to believe it. Yet if you analyze what it is, how you get there, you realize that doesn't prove the truth at all. Feeling what to believe does not make you correct. And this is what you accuse me of doing. Perfect example. The agents out in Phoenix accused me of reversing things. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not reversing shit. I'm just telling you the truth. So then I realized, well, that's because everything's been reversed in the file. The other thing I came to realize when I was in Phoenix is you think that by reversing things, you arrive at the truth. There's no truth to that at all. That's how you fuck up. Then you accuse me of the very shit you believe in. You accuse me of using your tactics for arriving at truth. That's a load of shit. You think Mother Mira became enlightened by reversing shit? I'm the one that walks this path. I'm the one on it. I'm the one way up there at this point. That's one you fucked up on, going all the way back to 2002. You think I just run around reversing shit to arrive at truth? That is how fuck-ups who don't know how to determine truth in the first place try to arrive at truth. But the point is, they accused me of this, and as I came to realize, well, it's because Horvat reversed so much in the goddamn file. How do you think I got there? Based on what they accused me of and goddamn observation. So then what's the next thing these agents trying to do? Oh, well, it must be somehow you remember. Bullshit. In regards to all sorts of shit like this, they had a goddamn memory cage on me. That's the entire point. It's based on here and now and my goddamn observations. This is how it's been the entire way. I keep noting the same goddamn tactics being used for lying and manipulating. It's based on goddamn observation. That's why when I see a lie you've been sold, I can easily predict what it is, the next thing you believe and the next thing after that. You just go plopping down one more lie about my psychology. That is the entire point. You're like my parents, wanting to believe in your little imaginary world of agents don't lie, therefore I have to be delusional. It's just like my parents here, and them wanting to believe that my ex 30 years ago told them the truth. It's a load of shit. They got lied to by the FBI and by my ex, and end of story. But they want to believe in this little imaginary world. There is no difference. You go believing something extreme about my profile, which isn't even true, so that you can be correct. That's entirely what this is about. And then you're all screwed up in regards to my profile. I see this one because they've been selling. Still, I've got a split personality. So, they are, hang on, now they're just blocking everything. I could just speak this right now. So then you go believing my nice guy is just something on the outside, but on the inside, I'm a threat to agencies. You're full of shit. This is how you fucked up the entire time and way here. It's actually how you've got the circumstances you have now. Your agency has created that by being incompetent and stupid, and they have created it by continuing to lie. Doesn't change how things are playing out here. If I'm telling the truth, then strangely enough, I'm going to be speaking the truth about it. When I'm finished with agencies here, you're all going to be this fucking big. That is a statement of fact and goddamn reality. They're trying to turn it into it's personal. I don't give a shit what it is for you. You have earned my fucking anger here. You are the entire lie in all of this. I don't give a fuck how you look at it. That is your fucking personal problem. Yeah, you bet your ass you're going to be this fucking big when I'm done with you. You're going to be just like my father with an audience trying to sell his lies, which he believes about himself, to somebody else. Yet, strangely enough, when those circumstances happen, he realizes he's full of shit and nobody else is going to believe it. The only one that's been believing it is himself. Welcome to the real world. That's exactly how it's going to be for your fucking agency and these piss ants here. What are the circumstances here? You want to believe I'm delusional? I'm delusional. I wanted to believe I had proof. I wanted to believe it, yet deep down inside, I knew I didn't. Boy, you're full of shit. That is a lie that has been sold to you about my psychology for hiding the fact that technology was misused heavily and extremely. You think I misremember everything? You're full of shit. You cannot handle reality. What's the reality of the circumstances I am describing to you? And you're telling me I can't handle reality? Go fuck yourself. You have no idea how difficult this is. I'm speaking to agents in a goddamn agency, and you can't even listen. That's the point. It's not even a matter. You haven't even attempted to grasp what might actually be going on here. But that's the point. You go believing a lie, an extreme lie, something opposite of reality. Take a look at the circumstances as I describe it, and I am dealing with it. You're the ones who can't handle what's going on here. But look at what you believe. It's a goddamn contradiction. I did all sorts of shit in regards to agents and agencies. Performed on a level way up here. All of a sudden I run into Horvat and I become delusional and extremely like a cartoon character. Go fuck yourself. Let's see. Playing agents and agencies before I was even put in gang stalking. Before. It's why the FBI is in a world of shit here if this goes all sideways for them. But they are the ones that'll push it to that, not me. Point is, I was good before I was even put in the gang stalking. Then I meet Horvat, and then all of a sudden everything gets opposite. And totally, all of a sudden, I'm balls to the walls delusional. Yeah, that's right. I'm balls to walls delusional, or else I'm telling the truth. And all sorts of people are in a world of shit here. But the point is, all of a sudden this happens with Horvat. And you're looking at her as your homie because of her job title instead of focused on psychology. I'm telling you, you got a whole team of agents who are rogue. Balls to the walls corrupt. For all intents and purposes, they're all psychopaths. My best guess is they did so much killing and everything under the sun, they realized, well, it's all a load of shit. We can just do what we want. And clearly this started with a group of them being together, maybe all of them, and then them just joking around, and then they finally realized, hey, we can actually do this. But that's the reality of the circumstances. So you take a look at where I was at before gang stalking, and then you understand this actually happened. Then you actually understand I'm a good witness, and I'm actually pointing out everything that's going on here. You have been tricked into believing I'm delusional so that you don't recognize it for what it is. The reality is, the truth of me and Horvat and everything going on is in the file. In regards to all sorts of shit. Horvat's right out in the open. She just labeled the truth as delusional. Once you figure that one out, you're going to realize you got a dangerous mess, you fucking idiot. So that's it, man. I got to go. I got real life to deal with, not your fucking Disneyland. I'll tell you where I was with Horvat at the beginning. She thought she was invisible, being right out in the open. She's trying to do her dumb shit with me like she does with everybody else. I could see Horvat the entire time in a way. Hello? That's one more I realized about Horvat all the way back when I was with Horvat. I realized she's playing your fucking agents and agency with your egos. A lot of what she sold and approached you with is just egotistical shit. You've eaten it up. It's almost like the more absurd and extreme the lies are about my psychology and everything going on here, the more you believe it. It's absolutely amazing. I could give all sorts of comparisons with my parents because there's no difference in regards to your blindness, how heavy the lies you believe about my psychology are, and how you perform, actually. There is no difference. There literally is no difference. That's why my parents work as such a good comparison. Because really, you could just switch your agents and your agency with my parents in regards to those circumstances and put my parents in your circumstances, and there is no difference in terms of what you believe, how heavy the lies you believe are, and furthermore, how you determine truth, and last but not least, your job performance. You've believed everything along the way here because it's what you want to believe in the first place. So as long as the lies are fit and made to fit what you want to believe, then you always believe it. Yet you have me telling you all sorts of things have been lied about, and I'm pointing out basic realities which you can't see, yet it's still basic reality. Monica's a witness to my real profile, and on and on and on. And the point is, so anytime I point out the truth, which is obvious, is the next point, you go believing lies instead, which fits the world you want to believe. So all the way around, there is no difference between you, your agency, and my parents here. You're all exactly the same. Actually, I was good at this shit before I was put in the gang stalking. I only got better once I was in it. And I've lived and breathed this shit the entire time. Then when I ran into Horvat, she held me in for her own personal reasons. That's the one I get. She actually did it, and I get it's because she's a psychopath and quite frankly, obsessive compulsive in regards to me. Balls to the walls, obsessed. She's the one that called the shots. It's been about her with me here. And one of the first things I realized was, well, her whole team of agents here, it should be in your file. But one of the first things I realized was, and there's a way that I know certain things are absolutely in the file and certain things are not. Hello? How did you think I'm good at that one? You're amazing. You've not figured out the real processes here, how they work, and why it is that it does work. You're amazing. And the reason why you have not is you've been steered away from that, because if you start to understand that, you'll wake up to the fact that there's a cover-up going on. Everywhere you've been steered away from the truth, and you have prevented yourselves from finding out the truth. And based on lies. The point got bumped out. I'm not finished. You have fallen for cheap, stupid tricks. I mean, I'm talking about just real stupid shit. They'll bring something up with me as a point, and it's something I've looked at and thought about before. So then I'll bring it up in a video, and they'll go, well, we gave it to them. Actually, my bringing it up is not about taking credit for a point they've brought up. It's about the truth of what's been brought up. They go, oh, look, we've brought it up. He's speaking about this is true and this is a good point, but we gave it to him. And then behind the scenes, they explain to you how that's not real and true. Actually, what they explain to you behind the scenes about how it's not real and true is a lie. So all of a sudden, you stop seeing the truth. Then they go, well, look, he's egotistical. He's trying to take credit for what we gave him, and it's not even a real point. Actually, if I bring it up, then it is a real point, and all they do is lie about it. So they lie about it twice. Sometimes it'll be something that's obvious, and it's the truth, and they say, well, this is the truth, but look, we brought it up, and it'll be something I brought up before anyhow. But the point is, I don't egotistically try and use points they've brought up. It's not about that. It's about what's the truth in the first place. But look at what you choose to believe about my profile. You're amazing. It is just simply you looking down on me the entire way. That's why I use the Jew reference in videos for you idiots. Yeah, getting back to a point here. You don't understand. I'm actually a good witness. That's the entire point. I was good, strangely enough, until I ran into Horvat. That has to do with Horvat's lying mouth and her as a psychopath in the first place. In the fact that they're all rogue. That is what that is about. It is to hide where I'm actually at, where I've actually been the entire time, so that you don't realize that it's real and true in the first place and that you should be paying attention. How did you think this works? It's real simple, Jurgen. If what I'm saying is real and true, then what they are saying to you behind the scenes here in regards to these videos, points I bring up, is a lie. It's that simple. So then take a look at what I'm saying and take a look at what they're saying, and I'm telling you, they're lying to you. So from there, you can figure out how it is they're lying and manipulating. You could do this with any single video. This is why Horvat hid the real level I'm actually on in the first place. They've sold it as I'm only there sometimes. That's a load of shit. How do you think that works? I've been dealing with agents and agencies for 30 fucking years. What kind of idiot do you think I am? That's the point. You constantly choose to believe I'm an idiot in regards to all sorts of points. Actually, that should stand out for the lies that they are. But not with you fucks. Just like my own parents. Horvat and our officers. Horvat couldn't get to the bottom of my profile, 2009. Voices in my head. This is the shit I got to deal with and listen to. And Horvat couldn't figure it out, so she's just torturing me. And I was like, this is stupid. All you get is fake answers by torturing me. And a few years later in the media, they're coming out with, yeah, torture is an unreliable way of getting answers. Hello? So all of you can go fuck yourselves. It's always based on observation and reality in the first place. You fail to realize I assess reality better than you do. So I'm like an idiot savant. In regards to all sorts of things, I'm intelligent, except for where you decide to believe I'm an idiot, like a threat to agencies, going all the way back to 2002. You do not know how to do profiling. So then Horvat's officers realize, well, he's telling the truth. There's something wrong with the picture here. So then they reach this conclusion, and I say this because the next thing they do is have me fall in love with Horvat, and they get to the bottom of my real profile. So that's based on observation, but I realized they were looking at all this shit about me and enlightenment, and they realized, well, and I've had experiences, people have been there for them, and some of that's got to be in the file. So they realized, like me and Jeff as a point, he was working for the FBI. He and I, we had some crazy fucking shit going on. Just unexplainable God-type shit. Just really bizarre shit, man. I'm going to do a video for this guy, Tony, down the road here. And I'll be speaking about this shit. It's far out shit. But he was there. He's one of the FBI's people. So they know, some of this shit's real and true. They can't deny it. You get it? Like Holly with seeing the UFO. And she saw it where me and my friends used to party. It's a sign. But getting back to the point, Horvat and her officers, clearly they realize, well, they can't see me. I mean, that's rather the point. All throughout 2009, Horvat's attacking me heavily, torturing me heavily, and my family as well, all sorts of heavy shit going on. And she can't figure out my psychology, and they see that I see them, but they do not see me. This is extremely important for you to understand, because it's after this is where all their lying really changes, and everything changes for Horvat and her officers. It's the same thing here with the FBI, except the FBI doesn't have a lot of its shit straight. But they think they're there at the same level as Horvat and her officers. It's the exact same thing. So they'll start lying differently and trying to manipulate differently. But the point is, here they go again, bumping out my memory. But the point is, they were having all of these problems. And then the next thing they start looking at is me and enlightenment at the beginning of 2010. So I see that they realize, this is me figuring Horvat and her officers out here. They finally realized, well, it must be the centers around him and the enlightenment thing. And how do I reach this conclusion? Because that's the next thing they did. And that's when they got to the bottom of my real profile. Now, this is the important part for you and your agency to understand. They got to the bottom of my real profile, and they found out that I am living and breathing it in front of their faces. I'm measuring reality in front of their faces. They had this technology on me, and they couldn't figure out how I do it, because I do it on a deeper level. That's the reality of my profile. And they hid this. Instead, what they did is they lied about my profile, and they sold it as, well, he's normal, and these were just enlightenment jumps, but then he goes back to being totally normal. Actually, that's such an extreme lie. You can find this out just by reading spiritual books. That's a lie. You're never the same after one of them. It's an extreme lie. The next point is, there is not one rule for everybody. That's the entire point. Muhammad, Buddha, and Jesus are the three religious figures I bring up in my writing. All of their paths, each path of those individuals is different. It's why the religions are different. But the actual process of making the jump is the same. My path is different from everybody else's. You just went, well, it's this way, and that's how it is for everybody. You don't know what in the fuck you're talking about. So quite literally, you're trying to dictate your own limited understanding to me. And I'm the one that lives and breathes this shit. And then you're telling me you're not arrogant pricks? Furthermore, you let Horvat sell this shit to you in the first place. No, they found out I'm there the entire time. This is why they couldn't see me. This is the problem the fucking FBI had in Phoenix until they woke up. When you understand my real profile, you understand you've been lied to the entire time. The next point is, when you understand I'm a better than average witness, you understand you got all sorts of fucking problems here. Here's one more simple trick they do with you. So I'm noting and observing things with the FBI in Phoenix. Then I look for a comparison from my past. And then they go, oh, well, he is looking at it here and now because he believes that's how it was in the past. Well, they lied about the shit in the past also. But the point is, you are being lied to about how this actually works. The next point is, what I'm pointing out here, the FBI knows. So then it gets down to, well, it's his word or the FBI, so then you just automatically believe the FBI. This is how fucking incompetent you all are. So the point is, I am noting and observing things. I said this all the way back in Phoenix, here and now. And then I'm looking for an example in the past to give you. But the point is, I'm noting it happening here and now with the people I'm dealing with. And it's based on observation. It's not based on fucking memories. It works the other way around. Yet look at what you've been told and what you believe. I didn't put you there. You put yourself there. And fuck-ups and liars put you there. So then here I am, literally pointing out your mistakes. Literally, this is the truth of what I am speaking of. Then you invent a psychology I don't have so that you can't recognize the truth for what it is. I've just explained how you've been lied to and everything that's been going on here in regards to this point. Rather than recognize the truth of it, you invent a reason for why it can't be. You're fuck-ups. This goes all the way back to 2002. But the point is, in 2010, Horvat and her officers, they had a major whoops moment. They're like, whoops, because they realized the danger they were in. My profile proves I've been telling the truth the whole time. And furthermore, you've thrown out basic realities. How can somebody know that they haven't been deliberately held in stalking? I've got a witness. You know, how do you think that works? Monica knows me better than German agents and agencies. She got labeled delusional, all sorts of shit, just in neon red, and your balls to the walls, blind as bats in regards to all of it. You've believed something that's false, so you literally cannot recognize shit that's in neon red in front of your faces. Then you go accusing me of your tactics, reversing truth to arrive at truth and reality. And the way you do shit, reversing shit, that's not how you arrive at truth in the first fucking place. All I've been doing is pointing out where I'm at and what people have chosen to believe here. And strangely enough, it has been reversed in regards to all sorts of shit. That's the reality of all of it. You have made your mistakes by reversing shit in the first place. You smoke your own bullshit in your own imaginary world here. So my profile proves everything, and that's why Horvat and her officers, when they got to the bottom of it, they had to lie about it and hide it. And in fact, what Horvat did is she threw more technology on me, and I realized, well, this is for hiding my real profile. So then we get to Phoenix, and these agents, the agent in charge communicated to me, well, you're not angry and it's because of technology. And I was like, no, it's not because of technology. That's how I actually am. And they couldn't believe it. And I said to him, but the problem is you have thrown so much technology on me, you can't see the real me. You get it? And this was just based on my experience with me, between me and these agents in Phoenix. So then I began looking in the past, looking for something like this, and this got back to Horvat and her officers. Hang on, they're wiping my memory. Right, so then this gets back to 2010, and Horvat throwing so much technology on me. And the reason was so that nobody could pick up on my real profile and my real personality here, my real psychology. That is why Horvat did it. And I noted this in 2010. My journals were full of this shit. My journals were the real file. What did you fuck-ups do? You went along with them being stolen and replaced, you fucking idiots. Oh, LJ gave you a copy of the real cassette. Boy, you people are stupid. Oh my God, can you imagine? Look at how you've performed here. Your balls to the wall's amazing. But the point is, when I was in Phoenix and I said this to the agent in charge, I said, no, you've got so much technology on me, you can't even see me. I said, why don't you just take the technology off when I write my third book here? The reason why, and then he accused me of trying to manipulate to be able to do book writing. Also, once again, incorrect. No, I meant what I meant. You keep inventing a false psychology and motives I don't have. That's the point. My profile's real simple. I operate purely. I don't have ulterior motives. And the point was, I would have been focused on all of this stuff in the first place, and they'd see that my consciousness operates on a very different level. Furthermore, they would realize that this is where I'm always at, and they haven't seen me the entire time. That is why I said it. But you're fuck-ups. You go inventing more false psychology. But the point is, there's no connection between the agents in Phoenix and me and my saying this to them in this shit with Horvat. I look in the past for something similar to point out and a comparison. That's the entire point. Yet you've got my processes here all fucked up in your own head. How you think I do this is different than how it actually is. You're amazing. That was always the point. I was always hijacked so that I cannot speak the truth about what was going on. Why do you think that is? And then I tell you I had proof journal entries. How do you think that works when I was with Horvat? How do you think that worked? I would blink on and off in regards to this, realize they're affecting me so that I do not get the importance of my having those journal entries. Actually, what they're doing is just wiping my memory. And the point is, this would keep blinking on and off. And all they would do is just hijack me with technology. How do you think that works? Why do you think I cannot communicate with anybody the entire time here? It's still that way. Why do you think that is? Then you go accusing me of reinventing the past and false memories, and that's because you went along with my being hijacked so I couldn't speak about shit back then. I'm not reinventing a goddamn thing. That's the entire point. I had proof 2 times with Horvat and with LJ, and both times you went along with the evidence being stolen. Hello? So how fucking done do you think I am with agents and agencies here? Yet you go inventing, yet again, a psychology I don't have. Furthermore, they keep trying to sell this shit from 2002. You're fuck-ups. I get my own intents and motives. Everything's based on real circumstances in the first place. So then you go believing I've got ulterior motives and I'm lying to myself rather than understand I operate based on the truth in the first place. I understand where I am coming from, strangely enough. You just go believing lies about my psychology instead of get that. How do you think it works? 2010, Horvat deliberately lied about where I'm actually at and my real psychology. That is how that works. So a lot of things changed in regards to their lying starting in 2010. So the point is, rather than get the truth of one single thing that comes out of my mouth, you just believe lie after lie after lie. That's exactly where you're at and your agency. I get my own intents and motives. Everything's based on real circumstances in the first place. So then you go believing I've got ulterior motives and I'm lying to myself rather than understand I operate based on the truth in the first place. I understand where I am coming from, strangely enough. You just go believing lies about my psychology instead of get that. How do you think it works? 2010, Horvat deliberately lied about where I'm actually at and my real psychology. That is how that works. So a lot of things changed in regards to their lying starting in 2010. So the point is, rather than get the truth of one single thing that comes out of my mouth, you just believe lie after lie after lie. That's exactly where you're at and your agency. They're lying about the connections of things, Jurgen. I noted Horvat doing this back when I was with Horvat. I noted that she was noting the connections of things, how things actually connect, and then that I knew that she was lying about how things actually connect behind the scenes. She sold you a fake level. Horvat and her officers, they lied quite literally about everything. They reversed as much of reality as they could. That's why a lot of the lies you believe about my profile are so extreme. This is what I mean by Monica's a witness to my real profile. What you believe is so far removed from reality and so extremely wrong. Monica would laugh at it the same way as me, in one sense. It's just shit you choose to believe. There's no substance to it. But the point is, when I was in Phoenix and I was saying, well, you've got so much technology, you can't see me. That was based on observation and the agent in charge directly communicating with me. Hello? I then looked to find a comparison, and a comparison is here, 2010. But how I reach my conclusions with the agents in Phoenix has nothing to do with the past. That's the entire point. This is how it's been the entire way. You've been lied to about this so that you don't see the truth of things here. That is why. And the point is, in 2010, in real time, I was noting that Horvat is throwing all these computer programs on me for hiding me. She quite literally, after she got to the bottom of my real profile, began lying and affected me, trying to reverse things in regards to certain things which pointed to the real me. That's why she threw so much technology on me in 2010. That was based on observation in 2010. You fucking got it? All you do is you go from one lie here to a lie in the past. Boy, you people are balls to the walls incompetent. I'm pointing out the entire cover-up and you're too stupid to get it. Point is, just as a point, these agents are trying to reverse it here. They were trying to say, well, you got this from that. But they just witnessed me analyzing shit here, or analyzing the circumstances with Phoenix. And then finding a comparison from the past. Hello? They just witnessed it. This is how it's been the entire time. Yeah, how have they been selling it to you? So then it turns into, well, it's either he's telling the truth or they are, and you go, well, they're agents. So then you just go believing them. Yet simple shit that I'm noting and observing here, there's no way to be incorrect about it. You're total fuck-ups. You are impossibly, insanely fucking stupid, just like my parents. The reality is you're balls to the walls brainwashed, and you're too fucking stupid to even attempt to analyze one fucking thing I've spoken to you, which would then start to wake you up. Because you're following orders, and you're doing everything without questioning a damn thing. Furthermore, I've pointed out the truth of everything here, and how you can see the truth, and instead you've invented a reason for why that's about my being correct. That is about my ego. That is, I think it's that way. Actually, that's me pointing out the truth, and you have invented something for why it can't be that way. And you've built all of this on having on something that you never found out the truth about in the first place. It's just like my being angry. The entire step and way here. You've never understood what it is I'm angry about in the first place. Holy fuck. How goddamn arrogant can you be here? You think I actually do not even understand what it is I'm angry about. You're amazing. 2002, you assumed a lie, and ever since then, everything you've believed has been one great big lie, including your own conclusions about your job performance, how you knowing me, you knowing Monica, you knowing Horvat, you knowing Horvat's officers, you knowing yourselves. Hello, that's the most important one. Quite frankly, you are the most clueless people inside of all of this, aside from my own parents. You bring up being correct for the sake of correctness. That's an absolute fucking lie. What I am doing is pointing out you have fucked up. It's correct or incorrect. Real simple. You change it into a psychology I don't even have. You're balls to the walls. Amazing. So you take a look at all of these points, if it isn't real and true, and you take a look at me, and this is what you believe about me. And then you go thinking it's about ego, what have you. You're a million miles removed from my psychology. And you were put there deliberately. This is what Horvat and her officers got to the bottom of in 2010. And they had a major whoops moment. They had to bury and hide my profile. Furthermore, they were able to do it even better because they got to the bottom of my real profile. Hello? All they did was more detailed lying. But every step of the way in regards to my psychology, they lied about it. They lied about my psychological template. What they found out is that I'm actually there in the first place to a very, very large degree. So then you start to put the picture together. Well, he was good in regards to agents and agencies before he was put in gang stalking. And just getting better and better every year because I've been forced into learning all this shit. And then my profile here, well, he speaks the truth. He lives and breathes it. He's all about self-improvement. That's one of the key things. That's why my psychology keeps changing. I keep outgrowing my old psychology. This is constant. It's part of the process. And instead you go believing I'm delusional about myself and how I actually am and how my processes work here. Because it's either I'm speaking the truth and you have fucked up and you are being lied to by these agents here, never mind Horvat and her officers. Either I am speaking the truth and all of this is occurring and you have fucked up strangely enough, or I'm delusional. So, what's quick and easy here? Quite literally, in regards to any single one of these points, you could have woken up. Everything I'm pointing out here is my psychology and where it's been the entire time and way. That's why when you get my real psychology, you can look in the past and you'll start seeing my real profile instead of the shit you've been believing the entire time. And my real profile and my real psychological template here, by the way, Jurgen, makes a whole hell of a lot more sense for you when you do that and you start looking than all the crazy shit you believe about my psychology in the first place, which is rather the point. It's just shit that exists in your own heads. But it sure as hell will make a whole hell of a lot more sense for you in regards to all sorts of shit. So this is how I see you haven't actually done it. Furthermore, it's not even difficult to do. That's one of the key points, Jurgen. They've been lying about my thought processes and how my mind actually works in the first place, which is another key point. I have a very analytical mind, and the way that I arrive at measuring things here is based on truth in the first place. You go, that's you putting truth up on a pedestal. No, I'm speaking plain English. I measure things more accurately and better than you do. You've been going on cheap stereotypes the entire time and way here. You've been going on external, superficial shit. And then you accuse me of being like yourselves. This is why you believe the lies about me, because it's actually how you perform and how you do your shit. That's the point. And this is in regards to all sorts of stuff. I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm speaking about. I'm telling you, Horvat held me in for her own personal reasons, her own desires and whims here. I'm telling you, her whole team of agents are corrupt. You got a team of rogue agents. For all intents and purposes, they're like the SS, Jurgen. They're so filthy with this shit, you know, they just realize they can start doing what they want. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're actually there. That's the entire point. This is based on it actually happening. But the point is, if I'm telling the truth, how do you think that works with my girlfriend, Monica? Clearly, she is a witness to the real me and contradicts what agents have been saying here the entire time. And furthermore, she knows it. You haven't looked at basic realities, but that's the type of shit I look at and I measure in regards to the world around me. I put things into context so that I can correctly and accurately see things and assess things in the first place. You do not do this. Furthermore, you've been sold, well, that's me trying to make a convincing argument. That's me using logic. The fuck it is. It is me pointing out the truth to you in the first place. You just go inventing shit so that you can't see it in the first place. Hello? This intelligent level I'm pointing out to you is the fucking cover-up, you dumb asshole. Here's one for you. You go, haha, he says we're incorrect. He thought we didn't know about all this stuff Horvat did, and he put it all in the file and said we didn't know. Haha, he's incorrect. It's all about correctness, and we've beaten you at your own game. Haha. Hello? There's no being incorrect about my profile and Horvat deliberately holding me in. You're amazing. You have made something into the word correct, which doesn't even exist, you dumb prick. You've invented a psychology I don't even have, and you go believing it. It is about how you fucked up here. You're busy making a game of shit, and it doesn't even exist in the first place, what you believe in and what you're reacting to. It's just like when I was out in Phoenix, and they were attacking me and torturing me nonstop until I would put, who was it? I think it was, what's her name? Beata and your families have got to be on the list here for the elite. And I was like, they had to explain this shit to me, by the way. Or give me some hints at what they were getting at. And I was like, this is balls to the wall stupid. When you're taking shit that seriously, you could just fucking email me, and I'd be more than happy to add everybody you want to your fucking list. You ever think about it from my viewpoint and how shit actually is here? You know, hello? So I went through all that torture and all that shit, once again, for something imaginary and shit that exists in your fucking heads, not mine. You can't figure out what I'm fucking angry about? You spend no time thinking about shit, period. Furthermore, they're doing all this deliberately and lying to you. That's one of the mistakes of the agents out in Phoenix, Jurgen. It's because they began speaking about how they had been lied to in their file, except they were believing it. That's the entire point. But I could see how agents and agencies were lied to in regards to my psychology. How do you think that works? None of this is imaginary. This is actually what's been happening and going on here. But I found out because the agent in Phoenix began bringing up all sorts of stuff he had been lied to about. Everybody had been lied to about. I realized how my profile had been lied about. How do you think that works? So then you go, believing I'm reinventing the past rather than understand. No, I'm speaking the truth about everything here, including the past. Including in regards to how my thought processes are here. And in regards to my psychology. Hello? Telling the truth about everything. Where's your head at? I'm measuring and assessing everything going on here based on the reality of the circumstances in the first place. You're believing lies and technology effects, which fit the little Disneyland. The whole thing's a lie. But you're being sold lies which are made to fit something which doesn't exist. That's the entire point. What Horvat did, Jurgen, in 2010 is she began lying about my profile in greater detail and on a smaller and smaller level. That was the entire point. That's what the FBI wants to do here, and nobody's getting away with anything here anymore. I don't give a shit about everybody's Disneyland. You get the fuck out of my life. My book's coming out. Interviews are happening. And get the fuck out of my life. You're incompetent fuck-ups. You're dangerous fuck-ups at that. You quite literally murdered Monica's father for no goddamn reason except based on lies. This is how it's been the entire step and way here. Every single year. And then you're telling me I can't handle reality? Go fuck yourself. You're not honest about your job performance. You're not honest about a goddamn thing. You're not honest about yourselves, period. And this is how you fucked up the entire time and way here. You went on cheap stereotypes, and obeying authority is more important than finding out the truth. Go fuck yourself. Then you go, when I go explaining my actual profile to you, you go labeling me as delusional in regards to myself. Once again, go fuck yourself. Why don't you try focusing on the psychology of a psychopath and a team of goddamn rogue agents, psychopaths. Boy, you're fucking stupid. So that's it. I want to be real clear here, Jurgen. In regards to Horvat and these journal entries, they affected me in different ways here. The key one was they kept wiping my memory in regards to the journal entries in the first place. And there was at least 2 times where I had come across these, and that woke me up. And I realized, well, what they're doing is they're wiping my memory and getting me to just absolutely, it's like they never existed. And then also at times they affected me so that I didn't realize the importance of the journal entries. In other words, when I would wake up, this would be one of the things they threw on me. I'd actually realized this, spoken about, I quite literally put the journal entries on cassette for Dr. John Hall. And do you know what Horvat and our officers did? They affected me with the viewpoint that that this will sound crazy for him and he'll think I'm crazy if I leave those journal entries on the cassette. And Horvat and our officers got me to erase that from the cassette. That is one of the times they affected me, and that is one of the ways they did it. And these agents saw this, as a point before I approached the BFO. I had it all. I had an intelligent way of doing this. First, it was going to be German citizens, which I had seen Horvat murder. And I thought maybe some of these were authorized, but I figured not all of them were. Then I was going to get to Bettina's mother because I was absolutely sure that German agents didn't know the truth of that one. And, what was I supposed to think? You murdered her mother because she screwed up? Actually, when you get the level I was on, it was guaranteed I was going to see Bettina and what she was doing for Horvat in the first place. That's always been the entire point. Look at where I was with the FBI before I got put in gang stalking. Jesus, you people are stupid. You don't know how to properly assess one fucking thing. So you murdered Bettina's mother for no goddamn reason. But then you know what you do? You go, oh, well, you were incorrect. We knew. Look at how fucking balls to the walls, insane and stupid you fucking are. That makes sense for you. I'm incorrect about that. You quite literally murdered Bettina's mother for no fucking reason. I would have caught anybody doing it for Horvat. That's the entire fucking point. It has to do with the actual level I'm on. But you went and whacked her mother. I was supposed to assume you murdered her mother because I caught her doing shit for Horvat? Hello? Go fuck yourselves. Look at the viewpoints you have for being correct. This is the entire point, you asswipe.